All right, thanks so much. It is a 7:46. Looking ahead, a plane dating back to the early 1900s, now reusing its wings. This is a really cool project. It's called the Jenny Project, all funded by a local museum. It's bringing back some memories.
Exactly, and now David Greenberg, he's been live at Poplar Grove Airport all morning talking about this Jenny aircraft. Now, David, how are you doing out there, and how did it feel actually sitting in the plane just a few moments ago?
It was really cool sitting inside. I mean, it was difficult getting in, it was difficult getting out, but once I was in, it was actually very, very cool. So want to bring in now the original cast of how this all came about. So here with Steve, Wally, and Don. First of all, guys, thank you for waking up with us this morning, giving us the full tour and all the history. We appreciate it. So Don, I guess I'll start with you. How did this all come about? Because I know we were talking a little bit, and you said you have very personal, close ties to this.
Well, in early of 2016, I was having dinner in the hangar next door, sitting next to Ken Starzik, who happened to be president of the museum at the time, and we were just having a casual conversation about the assets that the museum has, their airplanes. And I asked Ken, I said, did the museum ever have an idea about building an airplane, an iconic airplane, an airplane that would fit their mission? Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah, we've been kicking that around for a while, but nothing really ever happened about it. And that was the end of our conversation. Well, I live in Chicago. So after the meeting, as I was driving home, that hour and a half it takes me to drive home, I thought, perfect, a Jenny. Now, why a Jenny? Because it's, first of all, it was the first mass-produced airplane in the United States, built to train pilots during World War I. And after World War I was over, there were so many surplus airplanes that everybody learned how to fly in a Jenny. Anybody that you know that has a famous name from the past, Jimmy Doolittle, Bessie Coleman, Charles Lindbergh, all learned how to fly in the Jenny. So the Jenny taught America how to fly. So I called Ken, and I said, can you meet me tomorrow at this hangar? And he said, sure. And so I met him, pitched the idea to him, and here it is, 6 years later, we have a Jenny.
And the personal ties for you specifically, I know you were telling me your grandfather learned on a Jenny and flew in a Jenny.
Fly a Jenny back in the late 19 teens and then the early 20s. Yeah. And he owned a Jenny and learned how to fly in a Jenny.
This is his name right here, right. Dominic F. Perry. That's exactly. So that's the personal ties, as well as the call letters on the tail. You can see there the DP for Dominic Perry. But I want to talk to the other gentlemen who were, so instrumental in building this as well. So Wally and Steve, guys, what specifically did you take? What was the main piece of putting it together for you?
Well, for me, Don and I are both retired sheet metal workers from the Chicago local. So Don, being our leader here, he assigned me to all the cowling. So all the aluminum sheet metal you see here was
all this sheet metal here.
My contribution. And this, what we call burnishing, this was all done one circle at a time. This was about 6 months' work to do the entire cowling. And as we said earlier, that I ended up with a sciatica problem, standing over the bench week after week, pressing on the drill. But I think the results were worthwhile.
All worth it, right? A true labor of love.
Absolutely.
Well, Steve, what about you? What was your main contribution?
My main contribution was I would do anything Don asked me to do, and beyond that, I did all the painting on the airplane. I had never painted anything before, and the product that we used to do it is a testament to how even a beginner or a new person could do something like this. So with Don's guidance and guidance from other guys on the airport here, suggestions and a little bit of training, that was my main job, was making sure all the parts of the airplane got painted.
Absolutely. So. A true labor of love you see here. You three especially, but everyone else that's been behind the scenes, just completely, it's like you've built a child here. This is your baby. Yeah. Well, guys, we appreciate it. One fantastic job with all the work. It's been awesome for me to see everything that's gone on this morning. So for now, we'll send it back to you.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Again, we love the story. And I think the line that stood out the most was that Jenny taught America how to fly, right?
Exactly,
that was one of the lines. Like everyone that's been notable that has flown that plane that in history, they likely learned, at least after the World War, they learned on a Jenny. So pretty cool.
Thanks so much, Dave. We'll be checking back in with you here in just a couple minutes.